Hello, welcome to APS to Azure Synapse Migration ConvertDDLScripts video. This step is required to prepare DDL scripts before actual deployment to Azure Synapse environment. And this includes adding missing schema names to object references, replacing schema names, and fixing temporary tables definitions. So first change is adding missing schema names. If a schema name is missing, the code behavior after the migration might be unexpected due to changed schema names. In other words, a default schema assumed before the migration may not exist after the migration. Hence, in such cases, the module adds default schema name, which is specified in the configuration file. Next, schema mapping. Unlike APS, Azure Synapse Dedicated SQL Pool is a single contained database. Hence, when we migrate multiple databases and need to keep cross-database queries capability, we have to combine multiple APS databases into a single Azure Synapse database. But what if we have the same object names in two or more databases? For example, we have dbo.dim account in both AdventureWorks DW and Contosa DW databases, hence naming conflict. Common approach is to map source databases to different schemas in target Azure Synapse database. This will help to avoid object name conflicts. And finally, fixing temporary table definitions. While APS supports all three possible distributions for temporary tables, including hash, round robin, and replicate, Azure Synapse supports only hash and round robin. If you try to create a temporary table using replicate option in Azure Synapse, you will get an error. So ConvertDDLScripts module changes replicate option to round robin for temporary tables found in DDLScripts. ConvertDDLScripts module is implemented as PowerShell script, which uses two configuration files, schemas and directories configuration files. Detailed description of the file structure as well as sample configuration files are available in GitHub repository. Here you can see description of schema mapping file and link to sample file. And here you can see the structure description of the directories configuration file and the link to sample file. Let's take a look at the configuration files in my demo environment. Windows Explorer, I go to Migration APS folder, Module 2 ConvertDDLScripts, and I open schemas configuration file. I'm using Notepad++ to view and edit C3 configuration files, but of course you can use whatever other tool you like. For example, Excel would provide a better user interface to work with C3 files. So, schemas configuration file. Here we have three simple columns: APS database name, APS schema, and Synapse schema. Very simple. We define schema mapping, so everything from AdventureWorks DW database, DBO schema, will be mapped to AW schema in Synapse. And similarly, everything from Contosa DW database, DBO schema, will be mapped to CSO Synapse schema. Now let's take a look at the other configuration file, which is directories configuration file. I open it in a Notepad++, and here we have the following structure. Active, it can be 0 or 1. 1 means that this line will be processed. 0 means this is inactive line and will not be processed. APS database name, so the respective line is about specified database name. In our case, it can be AdventureWorks DW or Contosa DW. Source directory, so this is directory where the script will look for source DDL scripts which we extracted at previous step. Target directory. This is the directory where new converted DDL scripts will be stored. Default schema. This is a default schema which is assumed for this specific database. So in case of schema name is missing in an object reference, this default schema name will be put to object reference. And object type. So this is the type of the object which scripts are stored in a corresponding source directory. So let's take a look at the very first line. 1 means that this line will be processed. AdventureWorks DW means that this line corresponds to AdventureWorks DW database. Next, source directory, where we have tables DDL scripts. This is target directory, where converted DDL scripts will be stored. Next, DBO. This is default schema for AdventureWorks DW database. And table means that this source folder contains table DDL scripts. Now I have everything ready to run ConvertDDLScripts module against my AdventureWorks DW and Contoso DW databases. So I switch to PowerShell window. I change current directory to module 2 ConvertDDLScripts and execute the script ConvertDDLScript driver. I confirm default input, which is the path to configuration files and configuration file names. I didn't change the file names, so I just confirmed default values. That's it. The script execution is completed, so let's examine the output files. Switch to Windows Explorer, go to Output folder. Now we can see the folder 2 ConvertDDLScripts. This is our target folder where converted scripts are stored. We can see two database names, AdventureWorks DW and Contoso DW. I open AdventureWorks DW. We have subfolders for every object type. So let's examine tables. For instance, DBO dim account table. I open it in Notepad++. What we can see here, the schema for this table was changed to AW. Just to make sure, let's examine what was the source DDL script before any conversion. I open my local repository, migration, APS, output, module 1, create DDL scripts, AdventureWorks DW, tables, and DBO dim account table. Exactly. It was DBO schema before, and now it is replaced to AW schema. Good. Let's examine another file. Again, I'm in folder 2 ConvertDDLScripts. Let's take a look at some view. This is view total sales per promotion. Again, we can see new schema name AW in view definition as well as table references like here aw.dim promotion, aw.fact internet sales. Let's check what was the script before conversion. I go to output folder of module 1, create DDL scripts, AdventureWorks DW database, storage procedures, views, and same view script. Note that schema names are missing here. So this is what our ConvertDDLScripts performed. First, it added missing schema name, which is default DBO, and then it replaced DBO schema name to AW schema name. Okay, and now let's check few objects in Contoso DW database. For instance, tables. We have similar dbo.dimaccount table here. Let's check the script and see. Here we have CSO schema name. So there is no schema name, object name conflict. So we have two different tables, aw.dimaccount and cso.dimaccount. And we have similar change in other tables, like dim customer table. Now it's in CSO schema. As a result, now we have converted DDL scripts for all objects which are to be migrated. And this concludes Module 2 ConvertDDLScripts demo. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.